Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and hopefully some glitch has sorted itself out, and we'll be back. I don't know if anyone is aware that I'm back. Let me try sending. I'm back. Michael White, great. I'm glad you got here. Let me just. Uh, Modern technology. Oh, Andrew, great. Uh, Robert, I can't help you there if you can't find me. Uh, I'm back to Rog. Who else? Um, Ernie. Let's try Ernie. I'm back. Sorry for those of you who just found me again. Uh, I've got live chat. Keep trying. Tracy, thank you for coming back. Mike, yes, I am live. Um, Let me go into top chat and go to live chat rather than top chat. Uh, More messages coming through. Ernie, let's see what he has to say. Ryan, um, Ernie's just written in. Okay. Ryan, try again. Very frustrating, this. Yeah. We should just all meet up in real life. And I think Kevin has got a whole schedule of walks planned. I'll be over again in July. And I think the lovely Kim Murden is planning a walk somewhere near Lewis. But there will be undulations, I'm sure. Ernie, great. Lovely to see you. I'm doing okay. I'm a little frustrated with the show so far. I had to stop it and come back, and I think I've lost a lot of people, but okay. Oh, Bella is with you in spirit. Yes, Bernie, we are due to meet up. Um, yeah, it's. I don't know when I will next get to Dorset, because when I come over in July, I'm usually based around Surrey and Sussex. Okay, Bernie, yes, I'm back. Okay, so Gabe and Jeff are not with us today for various reasons. But I was looking through all your social media, seeing what you have been up to. And Cynthia, she's been out. There was a lovely picture of her brother she took. And oh, Jeff, you're there. Good to see you. I hope you could manage to dig your truck out of the snow. Cynthia's picture with her brother. Her brother had the most wonderful moustache. It just kind of trailed around here, and he looked like he stepped out of I don't know, Victorian scene of the captains of industry. Very nice picture. Ron and Elaine. Now, you guys went to see a musical, Bat Out of Hell, by Meatloaf. That was the original inspiration for it. I I remember that album being out, and I never really got involved in it, but it was incredibly popular, and I could never quite see why. But I guess I'm missing out on something. Now, Jean, Matt Reader Jean, she's been up on the Downs, Ditchling Beacon. She was on and around Beachy Head, and lovely pictures in the snow. Very brave of her to go out in the cold weather, but she is a passionate walker in the countryside, and especially around those areas along the South Downs. And can't say I blame her. Uh, so only ask, how much notice do you give when you coming back to Blighty? I usually give a few months' notice because I like to get my flight ticket well in advance. But I can give you the exact details, and if there's a walk or something going on somewhere between where you and I live, then we should meet up. In fact, there is an artist who I really admire, who I was in contact with, who lives, I think, not too far from you. He's about 20 minutes from my sister. So I'd like to visit him. That would be another good reason to come down to Dorset. What else? Jeff, yeah, more of a Dream Theatre person. Andrew, is that me, Andrew, or Andrew Murphy? Probably Councillor Andrew. Um, I don't go to the theatres, don't go here because they're a bit of a language problem, but I like modern dance. I used to in London. I was a regular at Sadler's Wells, and I used to see a lot of performances there in the 80s. Mark English, now he's still roaming around the landscape of Surrey, visiting churches and posting videos. Still got a few to catch up with. Yeah, Ernie, I will give you an advance notice of when I come over. Um, what else has been going on that I saw? Oh, there was a problem about people's um, Facebook accounts that are being hacked, and I noticed that who was it? Nigel Sadler elaborated on a note on this issue, and he said your accounts have been cloned, not hacked, and Kevin thought there was a connection with a lot of people in the group having been cloned. But Nigel kind of reassured us that these were clones, not hacks, that there were people who were trying to contact you to scam you, usually to get money out of you. You might get an email at some point saying that, oh, I'm someone from someone that you know's email address, saying that they got lost abroad, they lost their passport, and they need a few pounds to help them get home. And I had one of these about 10 years ago, and it was very, very convincing. And I exchanged a few messages with the person who I thought was my friend. And then I suddenly felt a bit suspicious. So I asked that person, well, what's the name of my dog? And I didn't hear from them after that. So always good to come up with a question if ever you are contacted by someone who's trying to fleece you. So let's have a look. Oh, Jacqueline, yes, good evening again. Andrew, good to see you sorted the broadcast. Poor Gabe, there's such a lot of cold flu type viruses about at the moment. Jeff, you go careful. Do that careful, especially if you're driving in such cold conditions. And Mike, you at the original Meatloaf concert at Wembley. You were 22, that was 44 years ago. Showing your age, Mike, but it must have been exciting because that was really the peak of his career. Um, I never hear of him now. Is he still alive? I don't know. So now who's pinging me? Uh, lots of activity going on here at the moment. But there's a big storm coming your way, Tracy. Will you be taking pictures of the sky? Keep us posted on the conditions there. So, what have people been up to? Bernie, what have you been doing? I know you had a lovely video which I commented on your trains, and I do like the low views where you get down to the ground, as it were, ground level, and view the trains that as you race them or run them on your track. I do like those. Lots of videos to catch up on. Lynn B put up a charming one of her charming dog Kai swimming and running around, running through a field of poppies. It was a beautiful sight. Beautiful sight to see. Yeah, Tracy, yes, do try and take some pictures. Motique, Michael White. What is Motique? It's a bit beyond me. Anyone else looks at me sheepishly? I know they're trying to fleece me. Michael, cheeky man. Yeah, people are not utilizing MFA, 2FA as well on their online accounts, which will aid prevention accounts compromises. Though, as Nigel Sadler's mentioned, you can't do a lot about account clones. No, you can't. But I kind of live on YouTube. I don't watch television, but I know a lot of you have issues with adverts too many adverts, and they crash in the most awkward part of the video if you're trying to enjoy a nice video. And I always say, if you have Microsoft, you can download a program called AdBlock Plus, and it's free. And I've had it for years now, and I don't get any adverts on YouTube. So I just have the computer running all day when I'm working, painting, and just skip around, watch concerts, or listen to discussions. A lot of political stuff I kind of indulge in, but concerts as well. As I said earlier, been catching up on some Laurie Anderson concerts, some really great ones. Um, and Jeff says, "What will you do when you finish Station Master? I guess you'll have to re-watch your old train videos." Well, the thing is, when you're building a train set layout, you never stop. You can always add a few more trees, put in another building, remodel a hill, put some sheep, a cow or two. You never stop. And I understand Rod Stewart has an extreme passion for his model railway. And I heard that when he goes on tour, I don't know how true this is, when he goes on tour, he takes it or a part of it with him. And I think there was an interview with him in one of the Railway Journal magazines. I'm sure Bernie or someone else can uh, correct me on this if I'm mistaken. But I understand that he has a tremendous passion for his railways. So, Station Master. Oh, Rod Stewart's layout is incredible. I, I've no doubt that Bernie uh, would know all about it. So Meatloaf sadly died, chronic alcoholic and obese. Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah. Two indulgences which tend to shorten one's life. But so is Jules Holland. I met him once. He's a rather unpleasant person. Or he was when he came into work one day. But I never knew that he was a passionate railway enthusiast as well. Is that the Winchester Mystery House? It'll go on forever. Jeff, that'll need a little explanation for me, but perhaps other people um, will understand. Paid for premium, best decision in a long time. Is that premium for the ad block, Robbie? Yeah, probably worth it. Yeah. At the moment, I'm getting my updates free because I've had it for so long. But I think I occasionally send a donation, which is the least I can do to as a thank you present for them. Peter Waterman has also got Francis Rossi into the hobby. To think, Francis Rossi used to live near me in Wallington. I saw him a couple of times in the high street. Once going into a jeweller's at the top end, near to where the Sainsbury's is now. Oh, YouTube Premium. No, I don't. I don't like the way YouTube treating people. So I would not indulge in YouTube. I'd rather pay AdBlock Plus. I could pay them more and be happy with that. Wasn't it Shakespeare that said, "Graves are dug with the knife and fork"? It's actually, yeah, I never heard that, but I could believe that. And one of the Roman characters, he said, "Let food be your medicine, and medicine be your food." Uh, Hippolytus, something I don't know. I only know that because it was written on a Hessian bag that my grandmother gave me, and she was a very passionate person about healthy food and was a macrobiotic vegetarian for many years, and uh, thrived on it. And she would do these large cook-ups when she was living in Devon, in Ashburton, and people used to come and visit her, and she would always cook up something, take out a bowl of aduki beans, a bowl of lentils, a bowl of other vegetables, some vegetables, cook it up, and there it was, a meal, wonderful meal. And she would get wholesale whole foods, grains and pulses, and turned her little front room into a little shop and sold them. very enterprising. But later in life, she needed some B12, so started eating meat again, but always organic meat, always organic vegetables. So what's happening here? Meatloaf borrowed a chopper from Motique for his show. He wrecked it, and the Hells Angels got a contract out on him. Oh, so Motique was a member of the Hells Angels gang. He didn't come out to play in the UK for a long time after that. Ah, I suppose if you have a Hells Angels fatwa put over your head, one should take that seriously. And Jackie has said, I've been to see the Iron Man exhibition this evening in Poole Lighthouse Centre. It's about the history of Poole Foundry on the quay. It closed in 1985. Your brother-in-law worked there, did he? In the foundry. Wow. Yeah, it's a shame. Well, we're getting iron and crap from China these days now. Yeah, poor old Gabe. He could be to do with one of Merlin's spells. Yeah, I wanted to ask, what is the latest on Merlin? Um, actually, I don't know if I re- sent a message to Gabe that he was asking. Yeah, I'm back on, Gabe. Gabe. I hate spell check. Oh, I'm back in, Gabe. Not in. I'm on. Anyway, poor Gabe. Yeah. Anyone have news about Merlin? Mike, when I next stay in Brixton, London, I'm staying Airbnb in a former railway station house, which has a church organ in a spare bedroom. Do you play the organ, Mike? I did try and learn to play a little bit just to familiarize, to help with my knowledge of music, but I didn't get very far. But I like the sounds it made. So Jeff Gabe gets whatever yuck is going around every time he rides the public transit. Well, then one needs to do something to build up your immunity system. Because as we know, Gabe likes his challenges. He likes to travel around and try and satisfy the challenge. And I don't think he has a car. So, if not, one is stuck with public transport. And one should support it as much as one can. I have a car, but I never drive in town. We have a good bus and tram system. So if ever I go into town, I always hop on a tram. It's what is it? It's €0.50 for half an hour in one direction. That's it's nothing, €0.50, and it's very good service. I'm late to the party. Oh, Linby, you arrived. I was telling everybody when I was going through my list of what people were doing, and I mentioned your lovely video about Kai. What? How can we ever say thank you enough to our dogs for the joy and the pleasure they give, the unconditional love? I love dogs. I adore them. And when I take Zora out for a walk every morning, I started feeding the crows, and I followed every morning with about 20 or 30 of them. And I take a big bag of um, Zorro's biscuits. And as I walk along, I flick them to the left, to the right of me. And although they all look the same, there are two that I recognize. One of them has got holes in his feathers, and the other one walks alongside me. So I try and give to particularly those two, but any of the crows which are on the outside, because they're the shy ones, the ones that tend to be a little bit bullish, are the ones that are kind of midway between my companion walking beside me and the ones on the edge. And then occasionally Zora looks up, notices what I'm doing, and just rushes over and chases them away. It's a joy, and it's such a pleasure to connect with animals. Where's Kevin? But he's probably editing something. Yeah, Len, he's your boy, a big part of our family, and so many people love him. He's a joy. I'm so lucky. Yeah, I know. I keep getting these videos popping up of people rescuing dogs from awful conditions, and it breaks my heart to watch them. Yeah. Mike, you don't play the organ, but I sponsor Ben Matton, the Salisbury organist, on YouTube. He visits beautiful ancient churches across England and plays their organs. Well, good for you. And who else? What have I missed? Oh, Merlin is fine. Gabriel went and found him. Okay. He was actually kind of poopy that people were checking up on him. And no, we weren't checking him. We just hadn't, he's become a bit of a legend, even over here. Um, and he's been involved in Gabe's videos. So naturally, when he uh, goes off piste, as it were, um, people start to feel concerned. But tell him there's no, I'm sure he knows there's nothing malicious about people checking up on him. So we were just concerned for his well-being. Okay, so he was just not answering his phone. Well, actually, that's pretty good sometimes, I suppose. Gabe is here. See above. Uh, okay. Did you? He was curious when Bernie was doing his show last week, and in fact, even 2 weeks before that. Um, Gabe was sending messages, and they were the only messages, as far as I know, that were not coming up on the screen. And I just scrolled up, Lynn, and I can't see any message from him. But if he's there, hi Gabe, I hope you're feeling better. I don't see any messages from you, but I hope you're feeling better at least. Yeah. So thank you, Lynn, for. Oh, there you are. Thank you for tonight. No problem, Gabe. I just wanted to keep the momentum going despite the false start that I had for some reason. So much for Croatia's 5G. Um, but there you go. 21 people watching. Well, I'm really, really touched by that. That's really, really nice, really kind. Uh, and yeah, so good to see a message from you now, Gabe. Sniff, sniff. Okay, wrap up warm. Tea with honey, and if I could send it over, some of Torna's rakia, but maybe you have a substitute at home. So, Bernie, I once played a very simple version of the opening bars of Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, I think that is, on a church organ. It was useless, but what made it special was that the organ was in the church where Thomas Gray wrote Elegy. Is that elegy? What's it called? Elegy in a country churchyard, or does it have an extended name? But okay. Oh, Mike, you recently watched an ice skating competition from the Zagreb ice ring. Okay, okay. Well, we had in for Advent on one of the big squares. They set up this ice rink with a way to go around, like a route to go around, and then a large area for free. It's really attractive. And I mean, then in a row, and then after that, we were kind of. They still make the effort. That's it, Bernie. Liturgy written in a country churchyard in Buckinghamshire. Buckinghamshire, okay. Well, yeah, very nice to make a connection like that. It's like when last year we went to um, the little village of Steep, where Edward Thomas lived, and to go to the church where there's his name was written on a memorial there. There was a stained glass, not stained glass, an etched glass window to him, but on the war memorial in the village, there was his name, and it was for me because I love Edward Thomas. It was very touching to not feel his presence, but to go to the places where he was inspired, especially there's a vantage point looking across a valley into the village. It's where Beadle's school is. And we were taken around there by a wonderful woman called Fran, who did a wonderful tour for us and told us a lot of lovely bits of information about old Edward. Some of the plum hooch would fix him right up. Yeah, to tell the truth, I have a cup of tea here, but for some reason, some of it slipped in. I mean, I couldn't prevent it, but there you go. Michael, Gabe, that will teach you to go around London with no trousers on. You could catch your death. Oh, well, you were involved in the no trouser day or some bizarre British tradition, new tradition. One moment. Talking of traditions, there was a little feature on Bonnie's England about wassailing, and I think another term of that is called beating the bounds, where people go around uh, an area to mark the boundary, the border. And I also understood that this is done in orchards as well, and you'd beat the trunk of the fruit trees to wake them up. Now, I've asked around in Croatia for any of these old folk customs, and because the church is strong here, all the kind of agricultural events for when you plant something or when you harvest something are all dictated by church calendar. And it's really fascinating to make that comparison, particularly at the moment, because I'm working on a painting project which is connected to the Green Man, to the Wild Man of the Wood, to a character called Basillaon, who is a Spanish Basque character, who is the Lord of the Wood, and he is the protector of animals, the educator of agriculture. And I'm finding lots of parallels between all these different characters from Greek mythology, from Roman gods and goddesses, and from pagan imagery, and making connections with church, um, not mythology, but iconography, let's say. And this is a project that I shall be exhibiting next month and then again in April. I'm at the moment working up a catalogue, which I'm very pleased about the design. It's only A4, like this A4 folded in half, but a little succinct introduction to the project. So I'm very pleased about the work that's going up, and there'll be a video about it, and it's all connecting with my village, and particularly with the man who built the house we have. And I'm using all his old rusted tools, which I will suspend under the paintings of goats that I've done. And these goats are painted on the boards that he cut. Presumably, he cut them up and would have chopped them smaller for firewood. So there's a strong connection with Mate, who Bernie, you will know about Mate, because Bernie did a lovely video about him and about his father, because they were both railwaymen. And I sent Bernie some bad buttons with the logo of the Yugoslav railway system back then, and a badge with a red star on it. And I still have one as well. And Bernie made a charming little video for my channel, just to outline a connection, across borders, across ideologies, no politics, just about the pure fact that they both worked on the railway. So all my projects really are connected about the village and about the people there, past and present. And in the film that I've put together, I've turned his tools into musical in- percussion instruments. And then I have a narration by about six, maybe seven people in the village that I've recorded over the past 20 years talking about working the land. And all these people have died now. But what is particularly fascinating for me is that the female voices tend to say how hard it was, whereas the male voices tend to say how their life was better then than now, and how people were much more satisfied. So there's a range of emotions across the whole board, but it's a I hope it'll be of interest to some people. But enough chat from me. Let's get back to buttons and badges are still in the display case in your front room, Bernie. I'm pleased to hear that. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Ian will be joining us shortly. I did send him a message earlier. You just messaged him. So okay. Ed Heseltine. Tell me, Ed, who are you? Are you known? Was listening to Plymouth Argyle, but 2-1 already. First thing you said about the Green Man will be so interesting to see, Andrew. Well, Ed, if you go to my channel, um, subscribe to it. subscribe to it, and I will tell you if I don't have the dates, or do I have the dates here? No, no, I don't. But around in the first week of February, the video will go live. It's already up on YouTube. It'll go live on my first channel, but then I'll put it on Facebook or whatever. Ernie, oh, what a nice compliment. You're a truly rounded artist. You can work in all mediums, a rare feat for an artist, and modest. Well, modest, what's the expression? A jack of all trades and a master of none. But I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing. In fact, the painting above, some of you who were in the walk in the summer, the furl walk, where the undulations were, might recognize that that little tower. That's the round tower on the Furl estate that we walked past when um, we walked through that maize field. Now I filmed that some years ago, a few years ago, and it was a cornfield just like that, beautiful golden corn. But the maize field evoked certain charming comments from Mr. Mark English, um, about children of the corn. I think the scene from a film, a horror film, perhaps, but nice to make that reference. So Mike Dixon says, Helen, Bella and I attended the recent wassail celebration in Brighton. That's it, wassail. Slices of dry bread are tied to the apple trees to help attract wild birds in the orchards to eat the insects. Now that's really interesting to tie that. Okay, cool. Yes, Michael, I do like a challenge. If yes, indeed. And Jackie says there were some photos of the foundry workers in the shower rooms at the foundry's Iron Man exhibition this evening. Not my brother-in-law, I hasten to add. Well, like I suppose coal miners in a way. It's a dirty, physical, hard job, and I take my hat off to anyone who was involved in that profession. So Anna Jones, hi there, Anna, lovely to see you. Jeff Kellison, Wandering Ponder is fine, everyone. He just didn't sleep good last night. He had a very busy day today. Had to go get meds for their little dog, Astaria. I hope the dog is okay. I hate to see any animal well, particularly dogs, in any discomfort. Jeff says it's been between 20 and 40 below zero Celsius, but the temperature is moderating now, and it's right around freezing. It feels like a summer's day. You should try being in Perth with Bonnie. They've got what 41 degrees. Very difficult, very difficult. Uh, yes, Jeff, have you ever seen Bigfoot? Michael White asks. On your travels, you must travel all over the country. You must know it like the back of your hand. I've never been to America. I thought I'd like to go to New York, but how it looks these days, I think I would be a little too scared and overwhelmed by the uh, sheer number of people, which is why I don't go to London anymore when I go up to town. Who's Bob? Is that Bob Pack? Bob, yeah. Is it? Is it Bob? Is it Bob? Is it Bob? I can't. Scrolling back. Who is saying evening? Bob, you get about. Oh, evening, Bob, you get about. Okay, which Bob? Oh, it's Bob Pap. It is Bob Pap. I thought so. Yeah. Um. So Jeff has never seen Bigfoot, and I used to be a park ranger. Oh, did you, Jeff? Wow. So you are like the Green Man. You're a man of the woods. So if he was out there, I think you would have. Well, if he was in your neck of the woods, you probably would have done. You would love the both West, says Gabriel. What West would they be? Hopefully not um, the West, or not to mention. So Jacqueline says, Wassailing is a 12th night celebration. My family keeps this tradition every year not just Welsh, Bernie. No, I think it is a, uh, is it British? Yeah, it could be British, but English as well. Hi, Bob. Yeah, nice to see you. I'll acknowledge you directly. That's nice. Um, Robbie, personally, he believes in Sasquatch. Okay. Glastonbury says the Pacific Northwest. Okay. Jeff has probably seen a lot of big feet, but that's not quite the same thing. Well, with your feet for the to the metal, and you're walking around as a park ranger, your feet must have grown a little bit bigger than most people's. Mind you, I've got quite big feet, but I won't. I'll spare you a view of them as I stretch out here. Um, so how are we doing? Oh, thumbs up. Yes. Okay, that'd be very nice. Bernie, you're a size 7. I think I'm actually a size 8 for myself, but I do a lot of walking. So Bob, yes, Rob, I do make a point of going to lots of different places. Well, good to get around. I prefer, in one way, to stay in one place. As I keep quoting Thomas Hardy, it's better to know a little of the world very well than a lot of the world very little. And I've always kind of liked that. Wherever I've lived, I've gone into the history and the buildings around in London, or whenever I've lived in different places here in Sarajevo as well. Da, da, da. So Lynn B, your grandson is size 7 and he's 12. Well, what profession could someone with large feet be in and for which it would be appropriate? Uh, oh, Lynn, no, I don't say that you had an aunt who never left Sussex waterways. Not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure she understood every Sussex word for mud and experienced every Sussex word. Now, I don't suppose there are many uh, people these days who can reel off all these words, lovely words. She spoke old Sussex. Well, if what a shame! Did anyone record her accent? Wow. So this is a particular dialect, is it, Lynn? But your grandson wants to be a footballer. Yeah, yeah. The way they foul these days, his feet that size could do a lot of damage. But I'm not suggesting he would be like that on the pitch. So Bernie has been to America, has been to Connecticut, got to see the Mystic Bascular Bridge working. Interest. Went offline for a minute. It's unstable. Well, look, perhaps I will. If I go offline again, I'll just end it. If that happens before 10 o'clock, I won't keep you longer than 10 o'clock. Although it's just nice to connect with you all. It's very similar to the one in Poole. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Okay, Liz, come back quickly. That's a relief. Nothing more frustrating. So Ed says that Ernie, you did meet briefly last Beltane at the Beckett's last year by the Green Man fire pit. We were keeping going before anyone came in, but I had one too many cheddar stands brought for me. Say no more. So Ed has met Ernie. I met Ernie once. He came to my sister's farm for one evening, and we chatted online with our other friend, or ex-friend as it were, and it was a big surprise for our ex-friend. But it was a joy to meet up with Ernie. Such a decent guy. So yeah, I can believe that Jeff Hardy that said, "Know thine own country before you cross the threshold thereof." That's a lovely quote. I might have to just pinch that one, Jeff. Thank you so much. Let me just take a screenshot of that bit. That's really, really good. Yeah, it's identical to mine, but it's said in a slightly perhaps more poetic fashion. But Jeff, where did you find that? Is it if you have a source for that, I'd be very interested to know. Yeah, Toddy lived in a beautiful cottage, and I've gone past some of the cottages and the locations, and I made a film some years ago of Dorsetshire Gap, and I walked the route that Tess apparently, Tess of the D'Urbervilles, walked to visit her relatives, the D'Urbervilles, whatever. But the Dorset Gap is a meeting way of five ancient pathways, and some of you probably know there is a box there, and inside this box is a tin with notebooks, and everyone who visits can write something. Um, and there's pens there, of course, and it's so touching to read what people have written. Some people come from miles around, even other countries, to go to that spot. It's the most magical area, and the geology and the topography is really, really extraordinary. And it's about 40 minutes from my sister, but a lovely walk to do. You saw that video, Bernie? Yes, yeah, yeah. Hardy's one of your favorite writers, John. I When I was at school, I had no interest in English literature, and then when I wanted to go to art school, I needed to have some qualifications, and so I went to evening class, and I was given John Keats to read and Thomas Hardy, Far from the Madding Crowd, and it awakened a love of literature. It had been destroyed at school, but that my teacher was so enthusiastic. Um, it was such a revelation that you could derive pleasure from reading literature. Really nice. So, uh, oh yeah, so you're off. Okay, Tracy. Yeah. Okay. Well, bye to you. Say hi to your family and to Councillor Andrew, who might still be here. But good luck to him in his position in the council. Take my hat off to him. Good man. Good man. So okay. Well, I will probably wind down now. Stay warm and cozy, says Lynn B. Yeah, it's quite warm here actually, but we had fog. Uh, Seasons are changing. Thank you, Lynn B. After a frustrating beginning, I hope the stream has kept up. And let me just scroll back. I don't want to have missed things, but it's lovely you're all just chatting away, as Bernie says. Mike says your Uncle Charles, who was a farmer, only left his village once a year to stay with his brother in London. Well, if you've watched Clarkson's Farm, Caleb had never gone to London until he was asked to go by Jeremy. So, but he knew that land, the soil. He knew it so well, um, which I'm all for that. Knowing your place rather than well, who wants to go to London these days? Although I'm hoping to meet up with Michael in London when I come in July. Michael, so there are two options that I thought. We could meet at the Wallace Collection, or there is an exhibition of a German artist called Anselm Kiefer at the White Cube Gallery. I can send you details. So we could meet up there, but that's, in the summer. We don't have to think about it now. So, have I missed anything? Thank you, Michael. Well, yeah, I didn't want that Bernie or Gabe skip a session because we're getting into a momentum where we meet up at least once a week in one of the forums. But Ron, you're off to night to you. Thank you very much. You know the White Cube Gallery, Michael. That's brilliant. Then I can forward you the details and we can meet up there and have lunch or something. So Rob, get your Horlicks on, Uncle Ron. Ron says Robbie of the North. Rob is a tough guy. He doesn't drink Horlicks. He sucks on icicles. Jeff, good night to you. It was fun. Thanks for filling it. No problem, my friend. Um, Catch up with you sometime soon. Well, we are a minute less to 10 o'clock. Well, it's 10 o'clock here, 9 o'clock where you are. So I will say thank you so much to everybody for the old Clink Museum in London. It's small but superb. Okay, Mike, I'll bear that in mind. Um, Thank you so much, and good night to you all. see you next week on Bernie's show, The Village Hall. And then in 2 weeks, hopefully Gabe will be well and back again with Jeff. So, John, thank you. Good night to you. Good night, Gabe. Get well soon. Good night, Michael. Yeah, brush his teeth with 100% whiskey. Yeah, bye, Cynthia. Nice to see you here. Pleasure to see you all. Councillor Andrew, thanks to you too. Gabe, if I'm back from, are you going to Ireland? Hopefully not on a one-day public transport, but have a good time there. And night night to you all. And I shall sign off. 3, 2, 1, back in the room. Yes. Ciao.